Wawa Nui.
Wow, Henry.
It's our 12th episode.
It
Oh
is
my gosh.
12?
It is the 12th. This is the 12th episode.
No, I think it's the 11th. You sure?
Because we're doing no, maybe it is the 11th.
It's the 11th.
Oh
Next one
goodness.
is going to be the 12th one because
Okay, I
we're.
fibbed.
It's all
I
good.
fibbed.
But still, it's exciting, right?
Yes.
Oh, we've
We're
been on
coming
this for almost a year.
we're coming on to the completion of this full light year of this show. That's
Yes.
incredible.
Yes, wow, Anui, and welcome everyone to our 11th episode of the Blackbird Oracle, where we look into the upcoming energies of the next Motu or month, but we call it Motu in the Lemurian. On the note of our us completing that first light year, we can actually dive right in and share that on that occasion, we decided to make a special extra celebratory episode of the Blackbird Oracle. And for that, we invite you people to send in questions which you would like us to look into. So that special episode is going to be live. So Huna Tamaki and I, we're going to go live at some point in November, beginning of November. We will make an announcement in the next episode about the exact date and time of that special episode. But so that you guys have enough time to send in questions to us, we already wanted to share about this today. So if you have a topic, a question, a thing that you would like us to look into with the cards and with the geometries and the pendulum live for you, send your question to my email address, which is info@flc.earth. You will be able to find that probably in the YouTube description somehow, right? Yes, just send in your question, and please let me know if you want to send in your question anonymously, which means you don't want to be mentioned on the live show. Please let me know that. But we will look into hopefully all of the questions that will be sent in. Looking forward to that. Yes. And I'm going to give over the word to Tamaki. She probably has a few things to share on her end.
Well, on the topic of the geometry questions, I hope I'm not biting off more than I can chew when I say it this way. When I do the geometries, it is based off of the specific time of the zodiac chart. And when I do it for the show, for instance, it's based off of New Zealand, a specific area in New Zealand. That is where light first enters the planet for us. So if there is a specific date and a specific time, and again, I hope I'm not biting off more than I can chew and end up with like 20. I'm not going to do all 20 of them.
No.
But if there's something specific to look at in like a future moment or perhaps in a past moment as a part of that Q&A, that's what I would ask of you guys, is to just have those pieces of information so I could pull the chart up for that. I did finish out all of the recordings and uploading everything for the Remember Your Motu course, which ended up being 17 modules, which I was not consciously going for.
Interesting. A number that I always associate with you.
Right.
17.
And I'm so grateful that I went through this process. I'm grateful that I did the live birth chart sessions for those first 2 years, and grateful that I did this as a course. I was just reflecting the other day of, doing those sessions did give me a lot of vitality in the beginning. And there was a point where I started going, okay, it's not always happening. And I wasn't fully admitting that to myself and recognizing why is that. And it's the amount of information and the amount of information that I can't even share because it's a 90-minute session and this course is over 4 hours. I did not know that it was going to be that much. I knew it was going to be quite a bit, but it's really like an extended session with me where I can speak to all of the things that I would want to speak to with that person. And it's something that they can access whenever they want, whenever it works for them. So it's quite beautiful that I was able to put this together, that I have my first course. And I went through a bit of a rebranding too. Of course, it was when I was going to bed one night and realized I knew the branding needed to be changed and I couldn't figure out what the issue was. And then the epiphany popped in when I went to go to sleep. Like, of course, not first thing in the morning when I could just go work on it all day. It's right when I'm about to go to sleep. So it looks and feels so much better, probably better than it ever has. So I'm quite excited about that.
Beautiful. So
Yeah.
you guys check that out. You can see it right there. quantumnavigator.earth.
Yes.
Yeah, and get your birth chart. And if you have more questions, get the booking for your remember your Motu course. So exciting. Beautiful. Yeah, I also have to share, I don't think that I've mentioned these in the last episode because we hadn't yet published any of that information, but I just recently had a beautiful event together with another Huna Marari, and we hosted a very beautiful weaving of the Sacred Hearts event, and Tamaki, she was part of that container as well. It was really beautiful, and it was the first of a series of events that Huna Marari and I are hosting to raise money for a GoFundMe campaign that we have started over the last month. We officially launched that GoFundMe to raise money for the medical bills that are still, needing to be repaid. So back in the time when Motu was in the hospital, there was this moment of urgency where he really needed surgery. So there was a beautiful Huna, which is my mother, and she provided the necessary funds for Motu to be able to go into surgery. And we're talking about a rather large amount of money. And this money, my mother, she took that out of her retirement savings, her life savings, right? And it was always given under the understanding that this money would be given back one day. And yes, as it turns out, unfortunately, the surgery couldn't save Mauda's life. And now the situation is that, me, also including me, but also my mom, we are in the situation of looking at this money not being there anymore, right? And so this is why we started this GoFundMe campaign, in order to raise that amount back and to give back to her, as she was the one that provided in a moment where it was needed the most, right? And Huna Marari, she came up to me one day saying, "Hey, what do you think about hosting events so that we can raise money for this GoFundMe?" And so we had our first Sacred Heart event last weekend, and it was so beautiful. And the next one is going to come up in the next Motu. So in October, at the end of October, we will host our next event. You can find the information of these events on my social media, on Huna Marari's social media, which would be Self-Care Alchemist. Yeah, you can find her under that on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, I think. And it would be so lovely to have you there with us. These events are truly there as the intention for us to come together and to share our sacred hearts, to weave together and to create beautiful moments of cohesion, so to say, between us, but not only us, but, for this to ripple out into the world. Yeah, so that's on that. And also, of course, we call upon your help with this GoFundMe campaign. Each amount and each share about this is truly helping in a big way. So we invite you to check out that page as well and to share it. You can find the link to the GoFundMe campaign in the description as well under this video. And yeah, I'm sharing this with infinite gratitude in my heart for everyone who is sharing not only, but who is receiving this and who is with this intention. Yes. Anything else that I wanted to share right now?
I don't know.
I don't think so. Yeah. Well, one thing for anyone who is in Norway and interested in participating in a dragon ride, I'm going to be hosting a dragon ride at the 12th of October in Oslo. So if you're interested in that, you can also send an email to me, info@flc.earth. And also on my website, you can find all of the information about that event. If you're interested, we would love to have you there. We have already quite a few signups and the container is limited to 8 people, but I think we still have 2 or 3 spots open. So there's still time for you to make it if you want. Very excited about that one, actually.
Yeah.
It's been a year, actually. Yeah, last year around the equinox, I hosted my last dragon ride. It's been a moment, and I can already feel the muki deeply with this one. Doing this, going out there again, and doing this is, yeah, it's a pleasure, but it's also not. It's, how can I say that? It's not easy, but easy still. It's what we do, but still. It weighs.
It does.
There's something there, right? Yeah, but I'm so excited for this one, and I'm so excited to travel to Norway, to visit the Stargate, to hold ceremony there. It's muki for me, especially very deeply. Very beautiful moments that I shared there with Mauta. The first time when we were there, we had truly such a liberated and a happy time. It was right at the beginning of him and I being together. And I think it was the first moment of him and I being openly together. So it was really precious. So yeah, I'm looking forward to visiting there and just being around that land. Yes, that's on that. So you guys check all of that out. And apart from the things that we shared, we have other beautiful offerings as well. And if you ever want to learn more about the Motus, Tamaki, she has this beautiful map of the Motus, the continental beings.
Yes.
I had to revisit that one in the last month. I don't remember exactly why, but it was like, oh, I just got to go to her page. There I'll find it.
Beautiful
So yeah,
resource.
just go and check all of these things out. Who wants to go first today?
I'm gonna go first because I just feel like I'll just gonna do it.
Okay.
Yeah. Normally I tap in a little bit more beforehand.
Yeah.
And
but not today.
That did not happen today, and I'm just gonna trust it and go with it.
Yes.
Let me remove that from the.
I'm excited. Is it a new one or is it geometry that we
I don't know.
You don't know.
No, I'm kidding. I know what's going on with it.
Wee, what's this?
Well, I meant to have it on the first page. I'm
Wow.
gonna let me flip to the first page so we can actually see the full thing.
Wow, that's a
This
new one.
publicly, yes. This is publicly a new one.
This is interesting.
This is very interesting. So, as a reminder for everyone, and I touched on this in the intro, um, when I pull the charts for the energies, it is based off of the location of New Zealand. So it'll be 11:11 a.m. New Zealand time on Sunday, September 8th. This is where this geometry comes from.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that additional note underneath that North America will likely feel this on Saturday because New Zealand is ahead of us. So getting that level set. Um, and also, just to share as a bit of a reminder or as an intro for the newer people, how do I even get this? This goes back to a conversation that I had with Mauta 2 years ago, like almost to the day, where I had been doing the birth charts and he's looking at the tree because I was doing like what I'm doing now. It was just with the tree where we're seeing how big an energy is or how externally expressive it is compared to the internal expression and all of these things. And he's looking at it and he said, I wonder if there's a geometry here. So I took that and going off of that, like the tree placement of there's a motu that has a lot of placement, so it's part of the external expression. It's a bigger energy. And then there's the motu that don't have as many. There is a layer that shows itself where there's a motu that had like dove has one, falcon has one. Okay, they're the first layer. And then turtle has two, and talking bird has two. Well, then they're on the second layer. So they build a totem pole, they build a popo. There is a structure there. So it's showing the energies in a different way, and it's showing it as a 12-pointed geometry. And that's where these come from. I just play connect the dots. I have to make these manually. Like
Mm-hmm.
anytime I find a new one, I have to make it manually. Or in this case, I actually found this about a year ago when I did a birth chart for somebody. Within the birth chart, I look at what is the full structure. It's like a crystalline structure, and I can carve it down to something that just intuitively for me fits the energy of that person. The 12 points are still there. You just don't see all of the lines. You're seeing other layers of shapes, and they always morph. At least when I look at them, they morph in and out, and there's all kinds of things going on. So that's how this is built. For this specific geometry, that bottom layer there is the 0. So when we have something that has 0 for the Motu, meaning there's no planetary placements, it gets put at the very bottom. And we have that for this one. And there's a total of 6 layers, one of them which doesn't have anything. We go all the way up here to the top, and there's 6 placements here. So there is a very prominent energy, and then one that's almost as prominent right behind it. And I didn't have the name for this when I first found it. Actually, speaking directly to the geometry and asking what is your name, that started maybe 2 months ago. And the name that it gave me, well, it wasn't the first thing that it said to me. I think maybe I needed to refine my connection when I was asking the question, what is your name? And the answer was undistorted etheric sound. Okay. Not really sure where this is going, but okay, I'm going to trust it. So this was around, I think it was August, if not August, September when I first drew this up, and I did it for somebody's birth geometry, and of course, with his geometry, it does not have the full structure. It's carved down a little bit more to something that really fits his essence. So I introduced to you publicly for the first time undistorted etheric sound.
Beautiful. Thank you for that sharing. How interesting that this was around a year ago that you first discovered this. And have
Yeah.
you come across this in between that time again, or is that
No,
now showing up for the
no.
second time?
This is
Interesting.
the first time I've seen it since then.
Yeah.
And that's including all of the birth charts that I've done.
Yeah. Very interesting with that
Mm.
pentagram right there in the center, right?
Yes.
So, what else do you have to share with this?
Well, I usually don't share all of the placements, but today it felt like we're going to share all the placements. Screw it.
Mm,
We're just going to do it. So I had to shorthand some of them because otherwise it's too much. But this is the full structure. So within, for example, the birth charts, I don't put the words in there. I actually put the image of the Motu, of that animal in that placement, so you could see exactly where they're sitting in that geometry. And this is just a variation of that where we can actually see all of the information. So what we're looking at, I don't remember exactly how prominent Tirani, the hummingbird, was last month. I just know it was a little bit higher.
mm-hmm.
Now it's in the 0 on this particular day.
Mm,
And that's about a month difference with the energy shifting.
mm-hmm.
In the 0, we have with it the falcon, the fatura. So speaking of the 0 is, it's always what I speak to as the superpower or the kryptonite, depending on how you use it. It is not missing. It is simply incredibly potent.
Mm,
Incredibly potent. I can speak from firsthand experience of the animals that I have in my zeros. And I know for yourself, Kahasahi, and you had this epiphany, I think, last episode as well with the
yeah,
Namu, with the dove,
yeah,
of how potent that energy can be and how it shows up, and uh, working with it in certain ways where you end up wearing yourself out.
yeah,
That
yeah.
is something that can happen, that where it can affect the mental and or the physical health.
Yeah, it's so interesting because this sharing of yours with the hummingbird now being fully in the 0, it's actually confirming something that's been with me for weeks now. As now is the time here where the geese are flying south, right? Autumn
Mhm.
has come, and yesterday I could even hear them when I was out. I could hear them above me. And I was contemplating on what does that mean? Like, what are they sharing to us? Because I remembered Motu speaking about the two poles, right? The two poles. So we have the North and the South Pole, and we all know that you know in the other hemisphere everything is exactly the opposite, right? What's going on here? Sorry, what's that? Did you hear that?
I did.
Is
Is
it?
it coming out of your phone? All of a
No.
sudden, I just muted it in the back.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure.
Oh
We
yeah.
we got this far in, and
I
now.
don't know what it did. Okay, but now it's good, I think. Um,
Mhm.
so I contemplated on what does it mean? The geese are flying from the north now down to the south. What does that mean for us in the north, right? For us in the north, or at least, no, not at least, but what we can see is that now we are in a time in the light year where the nature is doing a major shift, right? From spring and summertime over to autumn and winter. And what I got from this is, that they are reminding us about now the energies that are more felt and not seen are becoming more prominent in the northern hemisphere. And in the southern hemisphere, it's exactly the opposite, because the geese are flying in. So they are bringing in the focus on that which is felt and seen, and not the other way around. And I'm like, okay, this is interesting, because in my understanding, the geese are Motu relations. So all the beings, right? They all are related to the Motu. So they are all connected to the attributes, the main Motus. In a way, they are all Motus, right? But they represent different attributes and different aspects. And with the geese, I always kind of saw them in relation to the Namu and the Kirihi Motu. Because in the way that they are, when you have geese in your garden, you don't need a dog, because if there's somebody walking on your grounds, the geese are going to let you know. So in a way, they are kind of like in between a duck and a hound, right? And we know that the Motukawa, so is supporting medicine of the Kirihi, the lamb Motu of this upcoming month of October, is the wolfhound. So I would always see them right there in between, right? And so it's very interesting that they are now so prominent in this time where we are exactly in that time, right? And so I really contemplated on that. And for me, this shift of the hummingbird is confirming that. That we are now invited to sit more and to remember that we're now moving into a time where the things that are more felt but not seen are more demanding more of our attention.
So going,
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, so it's just very interesting. And then, of course, also what we talked about already last show was, the counter aspect of the attributes of the Motu. So everything kind of has a shadow, right? Or or everything can have a vacuum, so to say. And I also feel that we are invited of becoming more aware of that, right? So not only in regards to the Namu, but maybe in regards to everything that is, right? To just sit more with that, with the things that are non-visible, but still experienced in our day-to-day life. Yeah.
So moving up a little bit more, where the feet are, where the bottom of the tree sits, is the talking bird. The main foundation of the energies for this entire structure. And it can really show itself as an energy that's known but not really seen. So that's kind of piggybacking off of what you were just speaking to, of how the energies are shifting with the seasons. This, along with the wombat hare and the talking, I have talking bird on here twice.
That's interesting. So which one went outside of light there for you?
So
let's see.
I think it was albatross. Give me a second.
No, the albatross is right there.
Is it? Which one am I
Alb.
missing?
It's the alb.
The alb. Okay, wombat hare. Oh shoot.
Let's see.
Give me a second. I was like copy pasting and having a moment. A bit of a Huna brain fart.
It's the kitty. It's the kitty.
Oh gosh.
Of course it's the kitty. Oh, you're not gonna fucking believe this. This is so interesting.
Well,
sorry.
I'm gonna fix this real quick just so visually it makes more sense. Why did the kitty disappear from my brain?
That's so interesting. So interesting.
Yeah. Okay. This is so funny. 'Cause
And
we're coming into the Motu of the Kirihi, and it's all good.
you know what I got right away? Do you want to hear what I got right away when I was seeing the geometry?
Sure.
The feeling was something's gonna land head first.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why, but that was just the sentence that came to mind. It's very interesting that the kitty here is outside of light.
From my brain,
Um,
from out of my head. Um, let me get you. There we go. Do, 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 do.
Biddy beep biddy.
In the beninging. That's the wrong button. Let me share my screen again. There we go. Goodness me. There's
Yay!
the lamb. So
Right
so
there.
going back to the internal, we have
Mm-hmm.
talking bird, wombat, hare, lamb. This is all the internal.
Mm-hmm.
Talking bird being the bottom of that.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have a little bit more prominence with the other three. And all of that, that's it. It's like inside the trunk.
Mm.
That's the internal. These are the aspects that we know of. We might not see, but we could feel them. So it really emulates the energies of the nutrients coming up through the tree to go out through the branches and nourish the fruits so it can grow fruit and it can grow flowers. And in this case, it's going up through these four energies to be expressed through dove and turtle.
Mm-hmm.
So the main drivers, it's like they're driving the car. So if you imagine that there are a couple animals driving your human car, they're operating the stereo, they're hitting the levers for the windshield wipers and the turn signal, they're pushing the pedals to brake and to go, or maybe it's a manual and one of them's operating the clutch and another's operating the steering wheel. That's what these four do in this part of the expression. This is what this layer is speaking to. What is it that's driving the expression and to help guide that? So if you think of what Quantum Navigator does as the turtle, kind of take that idea and then you add these other drivers in there. They're kind of in their own ways assisting as quantum navigators with their specific abilities, with the
Mm.
ability of transformation, laughter, dedication, purity of heart, and introspection. Introspection is the forest giraffe. It's a very calm energy compared to others. And what comes from that is whatever dove and turtle are up to. There they are leading the charge again.
And it's so interesting in this time that both of them, the ones that are in a way guardians of the if we would look at it like just for you guys to understand where I'm coming from, but if we would look at it like on a planetary scale, we have the North and we have the South Pole, right? Those are the guardians of like the equator energies. So they're sitting right there in the in the in the middle, and they are the ones that are kind of leading this. Is very interesting, just considering as well like what I've just said about this switch that we're making, right? And we've just moved through this time of the dove, and now the turtle is there at the top of things already, kind of sharing, okay, this is now where we are moving through. I don't know, it's very, very interesting. It's
Mhm.
like I'm getting this switcheroo energy. I don't know why.
Yeah, I was picking up on that too,
Mm.
especially with the hummingbird going down where it did, and also
Yeah.
looking at the the different relations of where they're sitting. In this case, we have turtle and hummingbird. Turtle and hummingbird are both in the tangita, or the throat. That's where they sit. That's their domain of speciality. And they're sitting at total opposite ends, where turtle is
Mm.
so incredibly prominent, and then hummingbird is prominent in a very different way. And then
Yes.
falcon is filling out that triangle for the three of them.
Yeah, and I also think it's so interesting that we have the tiny voice from heaven and the falcon sitting together there in the 0 point in this time, where those are the energies that we're mostly, feeling and not seeing right now. So it also gives me this feeling of, there is like almost like a divine intervention, not really intervention, but like a divine directive being carried out in order to purify, to really kind of maintain that aspect of purification that we've just moved out. We've just been through August and now September. We've letting go of things, but maybe we have not fully yet. So it's like they're there to see that this is being done, right? And it's interesting that, of course, hummingbird is connected to February. And it almost feels as if, with August, we came into a period of these 6 months where now we are really like, you gotta let that stuff go. That's the feeling that I get. And it reminds me of our show in December, where I had shared about that demand of the dragon energies. And that got reconfirmed back in March by the ancestors. And so this is still what we're doing. We're still meeting that demand where everything is coming up to be leveled. Everything is coming up into, like, everything is becoming visible. And it's interesting that falcon and hummingbird are kind of showing us, like, these are the next 6 months. Like, this is what you're gonna do, because once we move into the turtle, we are moving into a new time. And you cannot take that old stuff with you. That's kind of the feeling that I get. Why they are showing up in this time now, where we're moving into that fall energy, where we got to really kind of shift gears, right?
Yeah.
And so they are showing up to say, hey, this is main topic. And turtle and dove are kind of like the energies that are holding that threshold in a way. Yeah, very interesting.
With the relation of the dove to the lamb, this came through the other day. The dove is the one who takes the energies through the fire of the sun to be cleansed. And through that fire, through that burning away, the truth is revealed.
Mm-hmm.
So the lamb comes into play at that point. And then going up a little bit further, and this is going into the expression part, this is just what was dropping in as you were sharing just now, of the role of the forest giraffe and the butterfly in this case, in the expression of the butterfly. And this is, and you and I had had this sharing recently, talking about, Scorpio in the association with the phoenix.
Mm.
And, a lot of people have been very positively receiving my November Scorpio post on TikTok. Some people, not so much, and that's okay. And there was a few times where the phoenix was brought up because butterfly is too simple. One gentleman said that it was probably considered an insult to say that November Scorpios are butterflies. I'm paraphrasing because he had seven comments worth of text that he had sent me. It's an insult because, there's the phoenix. It's all about phoenix, phoenix, phoenix. The closest thing that we have, and you, I think, had even said this. The closest thing we have in real life to a phoenix is a butterfly. That's that full metamorphosis. And we're seeing a burning away to see what is true, to see what is truly there in order to make it beautiful, in order to have that courage to go within and look at yourself and look at what's not working anymore and have that courage to let it go, because that's what we're getting to in this time of year, going into the forest giraffe in December, is
Yeah,
introspection of the going within and having that meditative moment with yourself, so then you can rework that and then continue forward.
yeah, it's very interesting. What you shared. I mean, with the phoenix, for example, I'm just seeing for me like the attributes of what we understand the energy of the phoenix to share. I can see that, like, at least in the motus and what we understand with the attributes of the motus, I can see that in more than just one motu, right? I mean,
Same.
the dove definitely is connected.
Literally the firebird.
Exactly. But not only that, but it's like these mythological creatures, they share, for me, it's more that they share a particular process, right? That we are invited to go through. And with that phoenix energy, it's really like what you've just described. And also, looking at the lamb, as we're now moving into this time of where we are invited to see the truth for what it is, right? I was just thinking about, okay, so what does it then mean if we're remaining with the wool in front of our eyes, right? It's more like, okay, we are in denial. So do we want to live in that, or do we want to look at things for what they are in that moment? And of course, truth is like a topic that's not easy to pin down, right? Because it's very subjective. And it can even change from moment to moment, but that's okay. It's more that we are allowing ourselves to be open and transparent and vulnerable and innocent with this process, that we don't place judgment on ourselves and others, right? And so I really feel like we are invited in this time as well to, again, what I've shared before, to sit with the polarities of the attributes, and that not so much because it's about placing judgment. It's more about embracing these things fully. Yesterday I was at the 5 rhythms, and there we spoke about the same thing. Like the man who takes us through that process, he shared about the shadow aspect of a particular rhythm. And he said, if you're in that, embrace it and see how they balance each other out and how they need each other in order to really have a flow happening. And so I really feel that we're invited to no longer judge these shadows, but to really see how they play together with the light. And only because we have that play, there is dynamic and there's energy being moved, right? Otherwise it would just be a flat line. And so I think this Motu in particular is a great opportunity for us to sit with this, because the energy of the Kirihi really embraces us in the innocence, right? And so going through these processes in this time is really a beautiful and gentle preparation for the next Motu that is then going to demand that transformation. So Beautiful. And I really loved to see all of the placements today. It's so interesting to see how they are all positioned, and it really feels as if they are like coming in with action. I don't know. It's like this one is particularly, I don't know. Yeah, very, very potent. Thank you.
So, shall we do our mid-show promo
Yes,
to promote the Hunas,
let's
as
do
we
that.
do? And we'll be right back with the card reading.
Yes. And we're back. I already took that time of the promo break to kind of start laying the cards out. I picked those cards without looking at them before we started our show. And look who we have here. As you were speaking about it. So interesting. So interesting. And then we have these birds with us as well, which I think is very interesting. This oftentimes also gives me phoenix energies when I look at the peacock for some reason, just because of how the feathers are. Sometimes I'm getting phoenix energy from that. But yeah, this time around the table is not big enough, but this is supposed to sit right here on top. Yes. So what I think is very interesting is that there is something, and this is going back to the geometry as well, where I've shared this feeling was something is landing head first, with this pentagram energy, but, flipped pentagram, meaning the head is down. It felt as if something is, and it's not really like falling from the sky, but something's coming in, and with this card here at the top is like hidden in plain sight, mysteries, learnings, and teachings. So it feels as if there is something's going to be realized, maybe something's going to be understood for the very first time in its authentic truth, maybe. This brings me back also to last Motu, where I already shared the feeling of something new is landing, something new is gonna happen. I don't know how it was for you guys, but for me, it definitely, like, September was not an easy month. Like, it was really coming in with a lot of heat, so to say, lots of ups and downs, but it was not taking up as much space as it usually was. And then, at least in my life, lots of new energies actually started in this month. This is different though. Like, with this, something's landing. It doesn't feel new. It feels ancient, which of course can also be new, like the ancient new. Sometimes things are so old that for us they are new. But with this, it feels as if there is something, that's always been there, and it's always been staring you in the face. And now it's like the answer to your prayers. That's the type of energy that I get. And it feels big. It feels as if it is needed. It feels as if it is what we've been longing for. And it's interesting because with this card, these cards are very, the images are not so defined, so it's maybe not so easy for you to see, but it really has also this kind of, like, it's not really a portal. Portal is not the right terminology. It's something different. It's almost as if the energy that I'm feeling, I don't really have a word for it. There is maybe no word for it. This speaks to potential, promise. It's about to happen. Keep going. So this is really interesting. It feels as if this card is really showing up for us to know that, we are right on track. Like, the pace at which we are going is exactly the pace that we should be going at, right? We're invited to really observe more, to be the eagle that is observing the movie that's playing out. The script has already been written. So it's the invitation of our egos to really just take a step back and to allow things to take place. Even though our ego cannot understand what is happening. That's the type of energy that I'm getting. And then I get that we are invited to initiate. We are invited to take action. We are invited to initiate at some point. This is in connection to relationships. This can mean a lot. So you're all invited to kind of make sense of this in your own way and to receive it in your very own way. But it is very much connected to relationships. Beloved within. So that could also mean it's in regards to you and your relationship towards yourself and to your own inner truth and to how it is that you show up for yourself. Maybe it's connected to all of the chitter chatter that you sometimes have going on in your brain. And maybe it's the invitation for you to reconsider the voices in your head that you're actually listening to. And maybe you should stop listening to that particular voice. Maybe that voice has just taken up too much space. And maybe there's another little bit more quiet voice that wants to share, but you're not giving it the space that it should have. That type of thing is what I'm getting. And then I can see that the owl and the birds in particular, there's like there's this all eyes on you type of energy going on. And this is connected to the geometry. This is connected to what's going to hit us right as we speak. Right as you are listening to this recording, this energy is already with you because your geometry was for the 28th, right? For Sunday. So you've probably already have been like hit with this wave of energy. So all eyes on you. Like all the birds are watching you. Like they are watching you and they are coming right at you. Like, and they're saying, I'm showing up because I'm your mentor. I'm here to teach you. So don't run away. Don't get paranoid. It's all good. We've been watching you all the time anyway. You're just now aware of it. And that's okay. This type of, feeling. And then it's also the invitation, like the eagle is showing up in order for you to recognize that it's showing you how to kind of hit the target, to kind of how to behave, how to be smart, how to deliver, right? Because I mean, we know the eagle is also connected to the Namu Motu, and it's an energy that kind of sees things through, right? That's like the feeling that I get with the eagle. It's just taking care of things, doing things, getting the job done. That's the type of energy that I'm getting, at least from for this reading right now. It's getting the job done. And then we have this beautiful card, which speaks about releasing the petals, transformation, death and rebirth, shedding, all change. This is already pointing towards what I've shared before we started the card reading. The Kiri Motu is preparing us for the transformations that are about to happen with us in the following Motu after that. So what does this mean? Yeah, all eyes on you. So get your vision clear. Like clear your vision. Look at things and try to see them for what they truly are. In regards to relationships, in regards to everything that is, in regards to yourself. Seeing it for what it is doesn't mean you got to judge it. Let go of that whole judgment thing. Yeah, you got to, of course, we are used to compartmentalize. That's right. Yeah. But we don't need to
compartmentalize.
That's what I mean. You know, all of it exists anyway. So why judge it? It is what it is, you know. There's this beautiful poem. It's one of my favorite poems from a German author called Erich Fried. Fried is actually funny because like Frieden means peace, right? So his name is actually connected to peace. And this is where this sentence comes from. It is what it is, says love, right? So go with love and just say it is what it is and move on with love, right? And allow the shedding, right? Allow the things that no longer are lively, that are dying away, right? That are rotting. Again, I don't mean rotting as a negative thing. It's just a part of nature's cycle, right? It's just, okay, this energy wants to be repurposed. This energy wants to be recycled, and it wants to become something new. It wants to experience a glow up, a bloom, a second bloom, or a new bloom, right? So let the petals fall, like the trees, you know, they let the leaves fall because they know the leaves will nourish the soil that the tree needs in order to receive the nutrients, right? So in a way, the tree is providing for itself because the tree knows the leaves are going to make healthy, beautiful soil. So this is the type of thing that we're invited to really see. And by us allowing us to do this very consciously and without judgment, we can really reach this castle. We can really reach this state of mind where we are just in peace, and where we have like this ever always flowering bloom, where we have like the overflowing goblet, or where we feel like we're at the fountain of youth, where we are in paradise because we just let things be. And we are at peace, and we are looked after is coming to mind. I don't know why, but yeah, very interesting. So this is what I'm getting. And then let's look at the kahas that are going to be very prominent in this time for this transformation, or for this process. Okay, I feel this over here. I feel this over here. And no, this got to go over here, up here, and this down here. So what we have here is the root working together with the third eye, the throat, and then the sacral. So what we have is a movement coming from the bottom, going straight up. Like, it's really quick. It feels as if like the communication between those two is like instant. And then we're bringing it back, and we're bringing it down into our sacral. So we're bringing it down into our creative center, into the center of where creation is happening. So what does that mean? It means that the general or the planetary movement of the source power of the kaha is supporting this motu in the way that it's really pointing towards what you're ending up with, or what you're achieving. I don't really like that word, but what you're doing for yourself, and especially what you are reaching by the end of the motu, is really what you're going to bring into creation. And it's going to take you through that whole process of the full kaha. So it's going to move everything from the below into the above, even though it's not really below us, but for some reason I'm invited to share it in that way. Everything's going to be moved from the below into the above. And then the invitation is there to voice it, to voice that process. And then that which is going to be created through with that is going to really be nourished in your creative and creation power. Yeah. And some other codes as well for us as a support is Rere, which means flying. Ku means essence. Ka means talking bird, or brotherhood, sisterhood in this case. Again, pointing towards the relations that we already had here, right? And then Kawa, medicine. Okay, what does that mean? It speaks to remembering the medicine of true unity, remembering the truth, the medicine of that essence of truly coming together and being together, and how that can liberate you, how that can make you fly, so to say, how that can make you, or can encourage you to be capable of flying. So this feeling of you're not standing alone, we're all standing together. And to really remember the essence of that, and how does that feel in the body? How does that feel in the nervous system? How does it, make you feel when people see you, value you, nourish you, want to be with you, right? And not because it's feeding your ego, it's because it's feeding your heart and your nervous system, and it brings you calm, it brings you joy, it brings you something greater. And then I also have these codes, and it's very interesting. I don't think I've ever shared this, but the first 44 cards that I ever created were like a mixture of different codes. And because at that time I didn't know so many, like, let's just call them single codes or sounds, like, for example, the ku, I also created cards with the essences of the Hunas that I had met at that point. So in the set of the first 44 cards, there's actually a bunch of Huna essences. I actually have a stack of Huna essence cards, like, which are, of course, connected to an actual person, right? These are extremely powerful cards, and I have restrained myself from working with these because I remember a particular Huna sharing with me that she could feel every time when I would read with her essence. So it's very powerful, of course. But this time around, and I think I put together the first initial 44 cards for our for the first Golden Canoe mission, because I felt, okay, I gotta read with this original energy. For some reason, I had not taken those cards apart again, because I sometimes put different decks together, and I pulled cards from that deck today. And it's so interesting because I remember I went to my cards. I'm like, okay, these ones to come. And I'm like, okay, this one's to come too. Usually I check and see which deck it is, but with this one, I didn't. And so it's very interesting because I have one Huna essence that showed up, which is Huna Vaharina. So her medicine, I remember that she shared about her seal, and she does not have a recording, but she remembers that Motu said, "You're like a big birthday cake. You're like what everybody wanted to receive." And so that energy is right there in the center of this. And then we have the teardrop of the dragon, the Tani, the single teardrop of compassion showing up. This needs to go over here. And then we have the code of the No, which is connected to the Motu of November, again, the energy of transformation. And it looks as if this undoing code, because this is a frequency that we share in order to reverse engineer energies and things that took place in that time. It feels as if that energy is already working with us very prominently in the month or in the Motu of the Kirihi. If you guys feel like working with these codes, I do encourage this in whatever way, shape, or form you feel like doing this. You can speak these codes, sing these codes, take them into ceremony. I particularly would encourage to speak these codes in combination. It feels as if those two together can really help our entire system to remember what I shared before about the essence of being together in that unity consciousness, in that remembrance of true sacred union. Sacred union, I'm not meaning just a man and a woman, but I'm meaning sacred union as humanity. And so maybe we are also invited to take this aspect of sacred union beyond just ourselves, right? And to take it as far as we can, because every union should be sacred. In a way, every coming together should be taken sacred. And then I also just feel about just speaking to the codes that are in this essence briefly. Wa means first love. Ha means first breath. Ri means seat of light, and Na means many. So there's also this aspect of the many in here, and the remembrance of Waha, Waharina, the memory of that essence in the many. Yeah. That's all I have. Again, I encourage everybody to take this into whatever space you feel. And yeah, looking forward to maybe hearing back from you guys and how all of this resonated with you. Yeah, what do you have to say, Tamaki?
This is interesting because I didn't share this at the beginning of the show. And all of us, we look at these readings and we could see how it's potentially playing out individually for us, not just as a collective. Here, let me get this switched out.
Thank you.
And for myself, it's going to be interesting to see how this shows up, because I knew the moment was coming where I would be leaving Tennessee again. I've lived here for a very long time and knew that this was not the last place that I would end up on this planet. And the moment came where we're like, okay, here's the date that this is going to happen by. And then everything else started falling into place of where do I end up going? Because that was such a big unknown. And it's turned into something a little bit bigger and more exciting. It was already exciting. But now it's turned into there's 2 places that I'm going to. And the first place I'll be going to, which was not initially what was brought to my attention, was Sedona.
It's so I shared it with you, the whole Sedona thing. It's been with me for months. It's been popping up. And, I'm thinking about California, but Sedona is like I'm seeing, it's probably that I'm seeing Sedona, but it's like, it's just there. It's like there all the time. It's so interesting. And now you're actually going there.
Yes. And it's not just me. I'm also going with another Huna. There are Hunas that live out there, and she knows them. They're one of them is actually part of her family. And we'll be out there for a time. And then there was an invitation extended for me to go to see another Huna in not California, Colorado. It's the other C. Yeah. It's the other C. The other C word. Go out to Colorado to spend some time out there, which I've not been to either one of those states. Very excited about this. Getting back on the road, because I've been here in the same place for over a year now, and getting back out there to do the things. Yeah.
Yeah. It feels similar to what I'm about to do. Of course, I was already traveling to the UK, and I was out there doing the things way more than I would have thought at the beginning. But this one, it really feels different because going to host the dragon ride and then also visiting the Stargate. And it was really interesting seeing your geometry and the
Mhm.
placements of the Motus and looking at what they had to share with me, or what they've shared with me in that moment, let's say privately or for just myself. I looked at this, I'm like, okay, you're confirming things that I was already sensing with this whole trip that I'm doing for myself to Norway.
Mhm.
And it's been something that I've been craving already back in January. I remember speaking to my friend. He's like my oldest friend. I've known him since we've started school together, right? And I remember talking to him about everything that happened. And I told him, I'm just looking forward to coming to you guys and to be with you. And now this moment has finally come. And it really felt like as if the Motus were just telling me, yes, it's all right. It's just all happening at the right timing. Just relax, just trust. And so I'm really, really grateful. And I'm extremely excited to hear about what you guys will be up to when you're in Sedona. Um, yeah, beautiful things are happening and the change is coming. Yeah.
Yeah. We're driving out, and I think we'll be on the road when you're traveling.
Yeah.
So,
And also the last
me
thing.
thinks we're going into ceremony, and we don't know exactly what the protocol is yet.
Yeah, yeah, and in a way, you are exactly confirming what I was feeling. There's something taking place, something's happening that we are not able to comprehend. That's the feeling that I have. We don't have the words for it because we have not experienced it yet, or we have not yet remembered it. And also, the placement of the turtle and the dove is really interesting. Looking at you and looking at me, because the Namu has always been very, very prominent with me and also with my family, right? Both of my
Mhm.
grandparents were Namu Motu, both born like I think on the same day or next the same day, 33 years apart. So there's a lot happened. Like there's a lot of history with me and the Namu, just saying that.
Mhm.
And so it's just interesting that they're right there. And I looked at that, I'm like, yeah. So
And
something's happening. Yeah.
the other Huna is also a Honu, by the way. So
Yeah, yeah,
two
that's true.
Honus piling in the car with all of our stuff.
And also my bird, my toko toko, she really said, "No, I'm coming with you.
Mhm.
You know, it's like I'm coming with you. This is you and me, girl." And I'm like, "Okay, you don't want the other ones to come? No, they don't need to."
Mm.
And it's also me returning, going full circle to the moment when I first received her at Stargate number 18. The package arrived when Mauta just had left, and I opened the package, and there she was in two pieces. So she broke again on the journey to me. And I remember exactly the moment taking her out, and I'm like, oh. But then I knew right away, okay, this is just an invitation. I know that you need to be taller. And that was the moment when I knew that she needed to go up to my head. So now taking her back to the Stargate
New form.
in that new form is going to be very
Mhm.
exciting as well. And so yeah, it's just an interesting moment. And I'm also going to share here that for our Huna community, I'm definitely going to share about the moment when we're going to be in ceremony at the Stargate. I'm also going to share when it is that I'm going to arrive at that Stargate, because I'm going to spend 4 to 5 days there. So that will be very beautiful and interesting. And yeah, so that we can maybe be in ceremony together. altogether if you guys feel called. Yes, very interesting reading. I'm very grateful for this and for all the information that was shared. And I'm sure that some of you are grateful for this as well. I can sense, at least for myself, a great deal of guidance that came from this and reassurance as well. Yeah. So I'm very grateful. And I'm also grateful for all of you guys watching.
Mm.
I'm very grateful for all the comments that you're leaving. We are always so happy about all the feedback and everything that you feel like sharing to us. To wrap things up, I want to remind you about the beautiful offerings that we have and the announcements that we made at the beginning of our show. Don't forget to send in your question for our anniversary episode. I think that will be a lot of fun. We have
I
not
do
yet
too.
done that. And we will be live for that one again. So we can just all hang out together and have a party.
Mhm.
And
Will there be
also,
fry bread?
oh, that would be so incredible. Imagine that. Maybe we can all just make ourselves some fried bread.
Yeah, I'm gonna learn how to make fry bread.
It's not that difficult.
No.
It's not that difficult. Anaru who told me, so he showed me. I can share that knowledge with you. The trick is in not really kneading the dough. You just
Mm.
barely touch the dough, and then you got to fry it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yes, and then I also again want to invite all of you to share about the GoFundMe fundraiser that we started for Huna Ma'urika, which is my beautiful mother. And again, want to say thank you for every help that we are receiving there from your ends. May it be in a donation or may it be in you sharing, maybe you sharing will bring this information to the right people that are able to make donations. So grateful about that. And also want to express my gratitude for everybody who has already sent in a donation, who has participated in the Sacred Heart events. And yeah, the next one, I think is going to be at the 25th of October. And I'm very much looking forward to that next Sacred Heart event. I think the last one was really, really beautiful and potent. Yeah, that's from me. Anything that you want to remind briefly about again?
Enrollment for the Remember Your Motu course.
Yeah.
I actually forgot to mention this. I sat with the course because I'll actually communicate with the consciousness itself and ask what's the direction that you want to go. And the response was take it off of the timed drip.
Mm-hmm.
So all of the modules, of course, you go through them in order, but all of the modules are not on a timed drip. So you can truly go through it at your own pace. So if you are a fast moving turtle,
Mm-hmm.
as some turtles are, very hungry for information, you can move through it at that pace if you wish to.
I mean, I remember me flying through the Dragon Masters course. I think I binge watched that in 5 days. Imagine,
Mhm.
because Motu shared it with me, and I had
You
I
didn't have the lock. It
no
wasn't
I
locked for you.
no
It
no
wasn't
no.
like that for me either.
So I just went right through it. So yeah, some people are like that.
Mhm.
I'm for sure like that. So that's great. So you guys, if you want to learn more about the motus and all of that,
It's the motus, the motukawa. It's talking about the kaha and the arrangements with
oh
that. So it's the depth that I go to or that I went to in the birth chart sessions
yeah,
of the alignments with the kaha and speaking to what is that kaha? Well, what is the translation of that is as
Yeah.
in relation to the chakra, and
Yeah.
chakra is not even the correct pronunciation. Um, and any anecdotes that come to mind. Of course, I don't share everything because there's still such a beautiful moment when you get to have that epiphany for yourself when you're making the connections. There's such a
Of
value in that.
And then also, with these things, there's always, it's like an endless discovery, right? And
Mhm.
especially when you connect to the motus, they always have more to share. Of course,
Yep.
there are the things that Motu shared, and there are the basic things that we associate with them. But I remember when I asked him about the motus and what they do, he just said, well, just go and look at the animal. Like, just,
That's also what I speak to. That's
yeah.
like it's such an important part of the discovery process. You get homework with every module, guys. And your
Hmm.
homework is go learn about the animals.
Yeah, and it's really important that we also allow ourselves to remember our own way of drawing conclusions and making
Mhm.
connections, and getting comfortable with trusting that, right?
Mhm.
Also, I don't know, where did I come across that, but like this thing of where we always feel like we need reassurance of
Reassurance.
from
Mhm.
outside of ourselves. Like, of course,
Mhm.
confirmation is something that always comes from outside of ourselves, but confirmation is not showing up in order for reassurance. It's just there to confirm what we already know. So it's not that confirmation is there to fill up like this hole inside ourselves where we are doubting. So it's really this invitation of us just getting more comfortable with our own ways, right?
Yep.
And I deeply feel that sitting with the motus, and that is like a beautiful foundation for the expansion into the vaster materials that are there in connection to the wataka, to the operating system that
Yep.
we remember. Because I don't really want
Mhm.
to say work with, but yeah, of course we work with it, but we remember it, and this is why we operate with it. And yeah, so the motus are truly our mentors when it comes to that. They are our teachers, and there's always so much to discover, because it's not just like that. They move in so many different ways, and they connect and communicate with each other in so many beautiful ways, right? And this is, for example, a part that we can discover with the motor relations, right? With the geese
Mhm.
that I shared earlier, that's connected to the motus, and that's revealing another layer. And yeah, there's just so much more to discover with all of this. So yeah, go and sign up and unroll for
Yep.
that.
Yeah, and it was Kahioku is the other
Mhm.
Huna that I'm going to Sedona with. She and I had been we don't have anything figured out detail-wise, but she and I had been talking about, since we're out there, opportunities to have gatherings, to actually
Mhm.
gather people together, what we would usually do when we go out on the road.
Yeah,
We
what
don't
I'm doing. Yeah.
yeah, we don't know what that looks like. I don't know that I would be hosting a dragon ride quite yet. But if the prompting comes in really strong, I don't know that I would ignore the ancestors if they're really nudging me for it.
Yeah.
At this time, I'm not gonna set that expectation, but there's still opportunity of I don't know who out there would be around the Sedona area for the month of October because we'll be
Mhm.
there for about 3 weeks, I think, at least for now.
Mhm.
Um, but the offering is there. So if anybody is in the area, or
Mhm.
we'll figure something out. We're gonna
Yeah, and
do some things. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
usually when the hunas, or when we come together, right, things just have a way of just figuring themselves out and telling you, well,
Mhm.
you got to go over here, and then all of a sudden you're, that's why,
Next level
this,
telepathics, man.
yeah. And I mean, this was how it was in the UK, we had the intention of just sitting together, having a meal, and just kind of like coming together, remembering, and in this time, and then ended up doing a lot of work, which is beautiful, and creating opportunity for us to just be together is the main factor, right? And for example, with this dragon ride in Oslo, it was just something that was really called for, and people were like, no, we want to do this. And so I'm like, okay. But for example, at the Stargate, the energy was not there for a dragon ride. The energy was there in Oslo, because I first considered just doing it at the Stargate, but that was not where the energy was. So this is just also this beautiful way of how the land, water, and sky are communicating to us, right? And they are revealing to us what it is that they're asking for. And so I'm, as I've said already several times in this recording, and then also to you personally, I'm so excited to see what is going to happen when you come to Sedona, because I know I've been picking up on this for months. So I'm just excited for whatever is going to come through with this. Beautiful.
Yes.
This was fun, and looking forward to coming together again in a month, and wishing all of our lovely viewers out there beautiful time in the Kirihi Motu. Again, thank you so much for being with us, watching, and wishing you a beautiful time.